Okay, let's do some multiplication of fractions. So here we've got 2/3 times 1/5. How do we do that? Well, normally we look to see whether we can cancel anything, and normally when we cancel only numbers that are on top with numbers that are on the bottom. So I look for numbers that are on top, anywhere on top, with any numbers that are on the bottom, and see if I can cancel or simplify. In this case, there are no numbers on top that I can cancel or simplify with any numbers on the bottom. So in this case, it's a straight out multiplication of the top numbers and multiplication of the bottom numbers. So 2 times 1 on top is 2, and 3 times 5 on the bottom is 15. And that is all we can do with this problem. Let's do another one where we've got 2/3 multiplied by 3/16. Now with this problem now, we look again for numbers on top that we can cancel with numbers on the bottom. And there's a couple here. I can see a 3 there that I can cancel with a 3 over here. So that means really 3 into 3 goes once there, and the same 3 into 3 goes once there as well. So that's simplified those two numbers. What else? Can we do it for any others? Yes, we can do the 2 and the 16. Again, 2 into 2 goes once, 2 into 16 goes 8 times. So that now is all the numbers simplified, and now I multiply the remaining numbers on top together. So 1 times 1 gives me 1 on top, and 1 times 8 gives me 8 on the bottom. And I am done. Now just one small point I want to show you with this one that we just did. It was 2/3 multiplied by 3 on 16. Now sometimes what people do, they'll actually work it out and they do the simplification at the end. That's actually a little bit harder, because when you simplify at the end you're actually working with bigger numbers, and I'll show you what I mean. Let's multiply the top. 2 times 3 is going to be 6. 3 times 16. Well, straight away you've got to get your calculator to work out 3 times 16. And 3 times 16 you'll find is 48. So now we've finished the multiplication. This is our answer. We're looking for numbers to simplify. And unless you know your multiplication tables really well, you might have to put that in the calculator and work it out. Or you have a go at doing it first 2 into 6 and then 2 into 48 and do it twice. Whereas we know that 6 into 6 goes once, 6 into 48 goes 8 times. So doing it, simplifying as early as possible before you do the multiplication is easier, because you're simplifying smaller numbers like 3 and 3 and 2 and 16 as compared to simplifying bigger numbers like 6 and 48. So I would suggest whenever you have any kind of multiplication of fractions, you look for simplifications as soon as possible. So now let's say we've got this kind of problem to solve. 2 and 2/3 multiplied by 1 and 1/16. So we've got mixed numbers multiplied by mixed numbers. Now, when we did the addition and the subtraction, we were able to separate out the whole numbers and do them separately, and then do the same for the fractions. But when we have a multiplication, we cannot separate out the whole numbers and the fractions separately, because remember, that's like a little plus there, and that's like a little plus there. So I can't do these two separately, because I've got to be careful with my order of operations. So the easiest way to do things now is simply change our fractions, our mixed numbers, change them first into improper fractions. So we want to go from mixed numbers to improper fractions. Let's do that. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8 over 3, multiplied by 16 times 1 is 16, plus 1 is 17 over 16. Now we don't have this problem of mixed order of operations, because we don't have pluses and multiplications there. I've got now straight out fractions that are multiplied together. Great. Remember what I told you last time in the last problem that we did. We look for simplifications, numbers on top that I can simplify with numbers on the bottom whenever I've got a multiplication of fractions. Now the 3 doesn't cancel this way, the 3 doesn't cancel that way, but look, The 8 can cancel with the 16, can't it? So I can say 8 into 8 goes once, 8 into 16 goes twice. That makes life a lot easier straight away. I can now solve this, multiply the top, multiply the bottom. The top 1 times 17 is 17. 3 times 2 is going to be 6. That's our answer, but look at it. It's an improper fraction. We've got to rewrite it as mixed numbers. So 6 into 17 goes twice, which gives us 2 times 6 is 12. 17 times 12, 17 take away 12, gives us a remainder of 5/6. This now is our answer for this problem that we've just had up the top with a multiplication.